Cable Bahamas has always been considered the innovator.
People can have confidence in Cable Bahamas as a mobile operator because of our past history. We've proven to the Bahamian community that we are in fact able to manage additional services as a telecommunications company.
Customers expect the best from Cable Bahamas.
The technology that we bring is revolutionary technology because we know that the Bahamian public, they deserve it, and Cable Bahamas is here to bring it to them.
We are ready. Turn us on.
Government finally selects the company that will take over management of BEC. 2 men shot and killed less than 2 hours apart. BTC's union warns of low morale at the corporation. Plus, the F&M's chairman says government is taking too long with that V. Alfred Gray decision. We've got those stories and more coming up tonight. I'm Dana Smith, and NV12 starts right now. Government has selected Power Secure International as the company that will manage the transmission, distribution, and generation of electricity at the Bahamas Electricity Corporation. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Works Philip Brave Davis made the announcement in a statement last night. His release came in the wake of a series of widespread blackouts in New Providence. While former Minister of State for the Environment, Fenton Nemore, weighed in on government's decision today, calling on the Christie administration to announce a more immediate plan of relief for Bahamians.
That all they've done is basically given the name of the company, and negotiations generally take a lot longer than the procurement of the contractor. This has taken years for them to get to this point. And we all know at what pace the PLP works at, which is very slow or stop. And so in this regard, it doesn't mean to me any immediate relief or right now in the short term, any short-term relief to the Bahamian people. In order for there to be short-term relief, the government has to invest in BEC. And I keep repeating that over and over again.
The Deputy Prime Minister said in his statement, for many years now, consumers have had to deal with extremely high electrical bills and far from satisfactory services from an inefficient and debt-ridden Bahamas Electricity Corporation. The protracted and frequent blackouts of this week and last are constant reminders of the urgent need for reform of our electrical generation, transmission, and distribution systems. This past Monday, thousands of New Providence customers were left without power after the corporation lost one of its engines at the Clifton Power Station. As recent as yesterday, customers were still experiencing outages, and BEC is expected to load shed until next week.
We're in the month of May, and the summer is just about to begin. And even if the negotiation process, the contract review, etc., is fast-tracked, I do not foresee there being any significant relief, even during the summer months. Because when one considers a contract reviewing it, then a legal review, remember this is a major contract, to have the Attorney General review it, to have the clients review it, this is going to take some time.
Nemore also called on government to reveal the details of the process.
It is important that they reveal to the Bahamian people what was the process, who was involved in it, etc. How did they come to the conclusion of selecting this firm? These are things that they never answered before, and now that they've selected them, they still ought to answer, because in my regard, they have not been transparent with the entire process.
In his statement, Davis said government is satisfied that Power Secure has the technical and financial capacity to manage the new BEC and set the corporation on a course to profitability. He said, "We are very pleased that the company has the ability to manage the building of a new major generation in New Providence, as well as the ability to procure and or manage the building of renewable energy projects in New Providence and on the Family Islands. In sum, and more importantly, we are satisfied that residents and commercial clients of the new BEC will have the customer experience that we all deserve." Davis said government has never questioned the qualification and capability of BEC's management staff, but he added government is keenly aware of their material challenges. With this in view, he said, Government is confident that the PowerSecure team and BEC will collaborate effectively. He added, "With confidence, we now look forward to the establishment of the new BEC under the supervision of PowerSecure. As promised, we are well on the way to delivering to our constituents a 100% Bahamian-owned, world-class electrical utility, offering its customers affordable and reliable power and a tremendously improved customer service." BEC Executive Chairman Leslie Miller said he had no comment on the matter when contacted. U.S. Embassy Chargé d'Affaires Lisa Johnson, however, released a statement applauding Davis's announcement. She said, "The U.S. Embassy in the Bahamas applauds Deputy Prime Minister Davis's announcement that the government has agreed to engage in final negotiations with U.S.-based PowerSecure on the content of an agreement to restructure and manage BEC. We are confident that PowerSecure's proposal offers innovative management strategies that will provide the efficiency and cost savings required to advance the Bahamas' energy reform agenda, and that PowerSecure's dedication to emerging technologies will unlock additional opportunities for renewable energy in the Bahamas." Jamaican track sensation Usain Bolt is in the Bahamas for the 2015 IAAF World Relays. The local organizing committee held a press conference today in the Flamingo Room of the Atlantis Resort. Bolt said because track is an individual sport, he relishes in the opportunity to take part in the relays.
For me, it was great. As I said, well, I'm going out there. I'm going to always do my best. I know the team is ready to go. And Jamaicans, we always try to do our best and always try to go for the record. So I'm sure these guys are going to come ready. I'm going to be ready to go, so I'm definitely looking forward to see what's going to happen. But
2 men were shot and killed last night, less than 2 hours apart in 2 separate incidents. Police officers found themselves once again bouncing from scene to scene and are now appealing to members of the public to assist in their investigations. Kyle Joaquin reports.
The murder count jumped by 2 to 47 last night after 2 men were gunned down. In the first incident around 10, a 40-year-old man said to be the owner of DJ's barbershop was attempting to go into his store when he was accosted by 3 men.
According to information, 3 persons accosted him, one of whom, at least we believe, was armed with a handgun. And there's evidence of a struggle, and during the process, this individual was shot.
The victim is Julian Taylor, a barber by trade. In 2013, he was charged with the murder of Theodore Ash, whose murder was believed to be a business deal gone wrong. But in August of last year, the matter was discontinued after prosecutors presented a noli prosequi. Police believe Taylor's murder was the result of an attempted robbery. But the night didn't end there. Just as we left that scene, police called us and told us to meet them here at the South Beach Police Station to be briefed on yet another murder. According to Roll, it was around 9 p.m. that a 21-year-old man was visiting relatives on St. Margaret Road, just off Kemp Road, when he went outside. It was then that his relatives said they heard gunshots.
And when they came on the outside, met him suffering from gunshot injuries to the body. They didn't see any of the assailants, but we do believe that they left that area on foot.
That young man was rushed into emergency surgery at Princess Margaret Hospital. However, he succumbed to his injuries about an hour later. According to police, the 21-year-old was shot multiple times by a man known to him. They are now appealing to members of the public with any information on any of these incidents to contact them at 919, your nearest police station, or Crime Stoppers anonymously at 328-TIPS. Reporting for NB12. I'm Kyle Joaquin.
The wife of murdered millionaire podiatrist Philip Vasily back in court this morning for a decision on bail. However, after appearing before Senior Justice Stephen Isaacs, Donna Vasily was once again denied bail. Simone Davis was in court this afternoon and filed this report.
Vasily's attorney, Muriel DeSille, who was not present in court this morning, argued on Wednesday that there is little evidence connecting his client to the crime. Justice Stephen Isaacs says one of the reasons that he denied bail for Donna Vasily is because there is no good reason to conclude that the circumstances of her husband's death point in any other direction at this stage in the process but to her. Vasily, who has been held at the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services since March 30th, was charged with the March 24th stabbing murder of her husband at their home in Old Fort Bay. Isaac said, bearing in mind that 54-year-old Vasily is not a citizen but a permanent resident of the Bahamas, he was not minded to exercise his undoubted discretion to grant bail given the seriousness of the offense, adding that she is also likely to flee and fail to appear for her trial if she's granted bail. He also said there was no unreasonable delay in the case and there was sufficient probable grounds by the prosecution for the charge. He mentioned that her husband's death was caused by an apparent stab wound or wounds and a knife, which appeared to be from a set in the home and was found at the home with what appeared to be bloodstains on the blade. He said he appreciates that the evidence to be held in a criminal case cannot be tested on a bail hearing and took into account that there did not appear to be an unauthorized entry to the home on the night of the incident. Justice Isaac said the inference that could be drawn is that where two persons are in a home and one is killed, the other person is likely responsible for that death. He said that her medical issues were not serious enough for the court to grant bail. Vasily showed no emotion when the decision was read, and as she left the courtroom, she blew kisses at her family and told them not to worry about her and she'll be fine. Vasily will return to Magistrates Court on May 20th for the presentation of the voluntary bill of indictment. Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone Davis.
Marco City MP Greg Moss said he did not vote in support of a select committee to investigate matters relating to a gasoline spill that happened at a Rubis gas station because he felt it was only a political gimmick. Fort Charlotte MP Dr. Andre Rollins on Wednesday moved for the establishment of the committee, charging that if it was denied, it would make government appear callous and deceitful. But it raised a lot of eyebrows when Moss, who has spoken out against the government on numerous issues as well, did not support him. We spoke with the Marco City MP, who is in Grand Bahama.
Whether Mr. Rollins knew or not, that was a political gimmick. I'm not sure that he knew that, and I prefer to believe that he didn't know that. But it was a political gimmick for this reason, that the select committees of Parliament are all majority populated by government members. And it's impossible to use a select committee as a way of investigating a government.
On Wednesday, Moss was among 15 MPs who voted against the establishment of the select committee. 7 voted for it, that 7 being Andre Rollins, Renward Wells, Hubert Minnis, Hubert Chipman, Peter Turnquest, Nico Grant, and Theo Neely. Moss said the Public Accounts Committee should convene and investigate the Rubis spill matter.
That doesn't mean just sitting around and talking about the budget debate. That means following the money. And the Public Accounts Committee has the right to convene a sitting to investigate monies that were allocated in the appropriation for the Department of Works, Ministry of Works, the Department of Environmental Health Services, for the Ministry of Health, for the Prime Minister's Office, for all of it, in connection with Rubis.